Recently, the UK and the US engaged in a head-on confrontation over trade and tariffs. On April 2nd, Trump announced retaliatory tariffs on all trading partners, granting a 90-day grace period. The UK was the first to reach a tariff agreement with the US, becoming a template for subsequent agreements. The agreement reduced tariffs on the first 100,000 cars exported to the US from 27.5% to 10%, with excess vehicles still subject to a 25% tariff. Automotive parts were uniformly reduced to 10%. Steel and aluminum were exempt from tariffs within quotas. Some aerospace products or goods were exempt from tariffs. The UK eliminated the 20% tariff on US beef and granted a 13,000-ton duty-free quota, reducing the pure tariff to zero. Meanwhile, the UK pledged not to relax food safety standards, and US grains also gained greater market access. However, the UK has not yielded on the digital services tax. Since its implementation in April 2020, companies with global digital revenue exceeding £500 million and UK user revenue exceeding £25 million have been subject to a 2% tax rate. In 2024, Amazon, Google, Apple, and others paid £678 million to the UK. Official forecasts predict that the tax could generate £1.4 billion in revenue annually by 2030. On November 27, 2025, the UK explicitly stated in its review report that it would continue to implement the tax until a global tax agreement is reached. The US has exerted continuous pressure, with Trump repeatedly threatening to retaliate with high tariffs. In February, he signed an executive order requiring an investigation into countermeasures. Canada had previously. Italy, under pressure, had previously canceled similar measures, and the UK had also imposed a digital tax on US tech companies, but the UK chose to persist. The UK's rationale was to compensate for the tax-based loss caused by multinational corporations in the digital economy and increase fiscal revenue. The standards are clearly defined, but this move undoubtedly exacerbated trade friction between the UK and the US and reflects the fragmentation of international digital tax rules. There is an urgent need to reach a consensus through multilateral frameworks, such as the OECD, to avoid escalating disputes. Meanwhile, financial markets also felt the shift in political expectations. In November 2025, Bitcoin fell nearly 30% from its October high of approximately $126,080 to $91,700. Paul Krugman believes this plunge is related to Trump's poll numbers. The decline to 38 percentage points suggests that the so-called Trump trade is undermining market expectations for pro-crypto policies. Krugman points out that Bitcoin lacks practical payment functionality or inflation hedging properties. Essentially more like a highly volatile speculative asset, its price is largely driven by policy expectations and sentiment. Regulatory uncertainty and the macroeconomic environment will also amplify volatility. Investors need to be wary of high risks. Overall, Trump's pressure has had limited effect in some areas. The UK reached a compromise with the US on tariffs, but withstood pressure on the digital services tax. This contest not only affects the economic and trade structures of both countries, but also leaves a ripple effect in global tax and financial markets, and will continue to evolve in the future.